What's up, everyone? I just wrapped up the workout. Hope you guys are having a good week. In today's video, I want to break down kind of the benefits of being an entrepreneur and also how to start down that path, because there's a lot of foreigners. You kind of come to the States and you're like, I don't have the resources, I don't have the connections, I don't have the knowledge about the system, like I don't know where to start, what's a good business, what's not a good business. There's a lot of questions. A lot of these questions are the questions that I had when I was getting into the business space as well. So in this video, I kind of want to break down like my journey and like if I had to start all over again, what would I do? And also like my tips to get everything started. The first one is definitely mindset. Without the mindset, it's going to be very hard to be successful in the entrepreneur business space because it's not easy. A lot of times when we think about like entrepreneurs having like free time, truly you're working 24/7. Your mind's like always on. People complain about like working 8 to 9 hours. Technically with running a business, you're working 24/7 until you kind of get it to a place where maybe it's running by itself, but you still need to be involved. And when I talk about mindset, like the first thing is like understanding that it's going to be more work, but it's work that ultimately you should enjoy. Like I enjoy what we do. So I don't recommend getting into something just because of the money. I know you guys probably heard about like, you know, chase your passion, the money will come. Like that's kind of BS, but like there's gonna be a lot of moments where you're like, is this worth it? I feel like giving up. I'd rather just do something else. And if your only reasoning for all this is money, you're more than likely gonna give up, because the first year is gonna be hard. Like you're not gonna make that much money. You would make more money working at McDonald's, probably, not always, but most of the time, than the amount of time and effort that you put into your business. So just understand that the first year is like a true investment. And I just don't get why people want results so fast. I mean, I get it because like social media, and you like see people posting where like they make 5 mil in like 12 months. Like that's not even like 0.1% of the population that achieve that. And more than likely that person has some kind of background where they had connections, they had the skill set, so like they launched like a new branch and they were able to make that much money. So to me, like I just don't understand like why is everyone expecting to change their life in like 6 months or a year, but yet we're willing to go 4 years, 8 years, 12 years in college to get a like degree, like say like a lawyer or doctor, to hopefully make enough money to be happy. So just consider that fact where it's like you're willing to commit 8 years to make maybe like 200, 300K a month, but you're not willing to commit 2-3 years to make unlimited amount of money, right? Like we make a doctor's salary in 1 month. So I do want to stress the fact that initially it is a true investment. If you guys go into it thinking like my life is going to be different in like 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, that's the wrong mindset. And especially if you're not going like 110% in. A lot of times when someone joins our program, they're like working a second job, and I'm like, how much can you dedicate? They're like, I can do like 30 minutes, an hour a day. I'm like, bro, like you can make an impact, but you're not gonna make like a huge impact in your life. And if you decide to go down the business route, just like promise yourself, like write it down like on like a notepad or in your notes or like on a whiteboard, where you're gonna tell yourself, hey, I'm going 110% in, I'm dedicating 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, maybe 7 days a week, and this is exactly what I'm gonna do. And if you set that foundation, at least it's a good foundation to succeed. Because even for me, I was working a full-time job and I was dedicating 8 to 10 hours a day on just the business, because I was working at the hospital, so we worked like 12-hour shifts, but like 4 days off, and I was literally working all day on it, like on the business, on like the strategy, on like skill sets and so forth. So it's definitely doable, and I believe number one is probably the most important step in this adventure. The second thing that I have to do is actually change my circle. So being foreign, especially like in Bosnia, and it's not just like Bosnians, obviously, like there's people like this in every nationality, but a lot of people are like, oh, you can't do that, like it's not gonna work, you're wasting your time, like no one's gonna pay you that much. So what I did is like actually move from Jacksonville to Tampa. And I found a circle that was also oriented around like business and making money, and we're collaborating and working together, and we're talking about like things that would propel our life. Sticking in the same place is very hard to tell your friends, hey, like I don't want to hang out anymore. So the best thing you can do is like just move out of that area and create your new circle, like create like your new identity, create your new path. And at the end of the day, like I know it sucks, but my thing is like I'd rather like disappear for a year or two and then come back stronger. Because like after you develop your business, like you can always go back to the city where you grew up and like reconnect with your friends. Because by that you hopefully have a system, you have clients, you know, you kind of have like a process going. So step 2 for me was definitely changing my circle, and then changing like the way I perceive money, and like just understanding that money is out there. When you're in a poor person mindset like circle, you're not gonna see the potential. You're gonna think that maybe they're right, maybe like they won't pay me, maybe like I am wasting my time. And if you have doubt, like I said, like step 1, you almost have every reason to give up. Step 2 is gonna be like what verifies and solidifies your thought process. So if your friends are like, oh no, you're wasting your time, and you actually like kind of feel like you're not making money, step 2, you're gonna be like, I guess everyone's right, I'm right, they're right, this is pointless. So maybe move to a different city, maybe try to like branch off. There's a lot of co-working spaces, there's a lot of like hubs. I used to work from a co-working space just because I wanted to like connect with other entrepreneurs. I met some business partners in my co-working space, so it's definitely worth it no matter where you are inside of Bosnia. Like if you're in Tampa, Florida, if you're like in Japan, like there's co-working spaces, there's organizations for startup people and people that are looking to change their life. So find a group that's going to push you and motivate you to actually chase your dream. The third step is figuring out what business model you want to try and go after. Because if you type in like, just like I did, I typed in like how to make money online, and usually what you see is like drop shipping, marketing, FBA. Like there's so many different things, and it's like, where do you start? Like what's worth it? There's a lot of businesses that maybe take a lot of capital, maybe take a lot of skill, maybe take a lot of resources. So not every business model will be the best model for you. But also keep in mind that usually the first 3 businesses that you start, there's a very small chance that that is going to be the business that ends up being successful and like that changes your life. So my thing is like, just go for it and you'll figure out which one fits you, because you're just starting off. Like even when I was starting off, like I didn't know exactly what business fits my personality. Like it needs to mold to who you are as a person. Because if you're not like an outgoing person, doing like high ticket sales, maybe that's not like the best path. But if you're not like a technical person, maybe like coding isn't the best path. But ultimately you'll kind of find where you feel comfortable and where you start noticing that people are like actually paying you for your service, which is good validation that like, hey, you actually have a potential here. So my first business was kind of like a SaaS company. Like I was trying to create like a software that, and it wasn't like a true like coded software. It was just kind of like I connected like 3 apps and I was hoping that it'll all work together. But it was supposed to like remind you whenever someone has a birthday, and then like it's supposed to like say, hey, it's so and so's birthday coming up. Like, do you want to send a present? And you're supposed to say yes, and then obviously the software is supposed to like take care of all that for you. Good idea, right? But I never got that to a point where like I actually got paid for it. And the second one was drop shipping. Tried that, horrible, lost money on that. But the third one was marketing. So like it kind of all like leads to the next one. It's important not to like give up, but like I say just try it. Like just if you're like at a co-working space or if you're meeting people and someone's like, hey, like I'm doing this, try that out. Like it might seem like you might be like taking their like business idea and might become like a competitor, but more than likely you're never gonna like truly surpass them if it's your like first business. But it's a good like stepping stone. It's a good like stepping stone so you can learn the skill sets. Because every like business I started, I learned a skill set. Like with the SaaS company, I learned how to build websites. with the dropshipping business, I learned how to run ads, which is literally what we offer in the marketing business. I just recommend like going out there. I know like it's not like a concrete tip, like it's not like I'm telling you exactly what business to start, but just start like the first one. You're gonna find the second one, you're gonna find the third one, you're gonna keep on trying, and you're gonna find one that just like fits what you're looking for. You're gonna start making money, you're gonna start getting more and more clients, then you're gonna hire someone and you're gonna improve your skill set, and that's just like how it works. And I always say like you can only connect the dots going backwards. So I challenge you to start the first one. I mean, it can literally be a moving business, it can be a painting business, it can be a wrap shop where you wrap cars, it can be a detailing business, it can be a marketing business, it could be high ticket sales, it could be like insurance agency. Like these are all very good business opportunities that don't require like too much skill set. Like you can kind of like go on YouTube and learn the basics, but it's a good stepping stone. I'm back in St. Pete, but this time with the family. What you eating?
Pasta,
With
chicken,
what?
peas, and mushrooms.
Pretty much got the same thing, chicken parm. It was chicken parm, got demolished. The fourth thing that entails like really starting a business and scaling it is sales. So this is the most uncomfortable part because you really need to sell your services. A lot of times when you start off, like the initial clients will be your friends, family. You can't be afraid of pitching it in the right way. Like you don't want to be pushy, but like you need to sell. Like we follow the motto of ABC, always be closing. No matter where you go, pitch your services. Like one rule that I have is like whatever your service is, if someone thinks about the service, do they think about you? Like if they think about marketing or they think about Mel. If they're not, I'm doing a bad job marketing myself and pitching enough. So it doesn't matter where you guys start, like if it's insurance, if you're like looking to recruit, or it's like website design or content creation or like marketing or car wrapping, whatever it is, just pitch, because the hardest like part in the business is getting the initial momentum, like getting to the initial 10K. After you get to the initial 10K, you can scale it, you can invest into marketing like ads and so forth. But the way you get the first 10K is by closing people that you meet, and you can't be afraid to pitch. Like you might feel afraid because you might get turned down, like what will people think, you don't want to be pushy, but you have to be pushy. The best business owners that I know, they're one of the best salespeople. If you don't know how to sell, like just learn how to sell. Pick up the book Spin Selling, go on YouTube, look up Dan Lok, look up Grant Cardone. I mean, we host our own sales calls twice a month, and they're free. Because if you're not selling, doesn't matter how great your product and service is, no one will know how great it is because you never closed anyone. So step number 4, master sales. Number 5, which is the most important one to me, is actually consistently improving your systems. Because I mean, you just started your business, right? So you're learning how to sell, you're learning how to deliver the service, you're learning customer service, you're learning so many things. And what I usually notice in novice business owners, that means like new business owners, is that it's kind of like a mix, because like they do acknowledge that they need to improve, but a lot of times they're like, oh no, like I got this. And I think the problem is that they don't know what to look out for, because like when you're starting off, you don't know what you need to improve, because like you might do a sales pitch and you're like, oh, I crushed it. Meanwhile, maybe your tonality was off because you didn't know about working and utilizing tonality. Maybe your programs were off. Maybe like your looping on the objection was off. But you're like, oh dude, like the call went amazing. Because a lot of like new salespeople that join our company have that same mindset. And then they realize they're not closing anyone. They're like, oh shit, like I crushed the sale. They're gonna pay tomorrow. I'm like, they're not gonna pay tomorrow. So at the beginning, like the best thing you can do is first be your own critic, and the best way to do that is like step away from you reviewing yourself, but review your work and your sales and like your customer service as like your client and also as your mentor. So like you should, like, for example, you should be like recording all your sales calls. So the best thing to do is rewatch the sales call first from the perspective of the client, and second as the perspective of a mentor. And the best way to do this is you got to find someone that you look up to. Like, for example, to me, it was Grant Cardone when I was like really pushing my sales. And I would literally put what we reference to as Grant Cardone's head on. And I would think like Grant Cardone. And I get into the mindset of Grant Cardone when I'm reviewing my sales calls. And I would think, what would Grant say? Like, if he was watching this, reviewing my call, what would he say? And that's usually a good first step to start improving your skills and your services. Because if you don't improve yourself very fast, if you start closing, which ideally you should be, and you start generating bad results, you're gonna get a bad rep. And then it's gonna be like, it's gonna suck for your ego, for your momentum, for whatever people are thinking about you. So don't mess up too much at the beginning. Like, it's okay to mess up. Like, you're gonna mess up. We still mess up to this day, but minimize the mistakes and expedite truly the learning curve as fast as possible. Like, I believe that within a year you should be almost 50% there of like a solid business owner. Second year, like probably 65, 70%. Year 3, 4, like you should be like 90% there. Like I said, like still to this day, we're always improving our systems. I'm sure you guys have like heard the saying like fail and fail fast. Like, that's what you guys should be doing. Like, fail fast, because you want to get back up and learn very fast on your mistakes, and make sure you don't repeat the same mistakes. I'm back at the crib, and to wrap up this video, these are the 6 things that I truly believe will allow foreigners to be successful in the business space in America. I created this video primarily for foreigners in the US, but these same principles work wherever you are in the world. And these are literally the principles that I followed. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I know the journey is hard. I know the process is hard, but the reward is amazing. To me, like, I knew as soon as I got into kind of the workforce that I was like, I can't do this the rest of my life, because I know there's more to life than just slaving away for someone that truly doesn't even know you exist. And it sucks when you feel like you can get replaced at any time. And I was like, the only way I can truly control my own destiny is by creating my own path, which to me was having my own business. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, hit that button below. And I do want to hear your thoughts. Like, do you guys feel like the business journey is something that's achievable? Or do you feel like me at the beginning where I'm like, I don't even know where to start right now? I do want to hear your thoughts, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.